When I started trading 5 years ago, I was convinced that the key to my profitability will be entering trades on pullbacks. Fast forward to today, my most common trade is actually a breakout trade. I never used to subscribe to the breakout trades because I always used to lose, get stuck in fake outs, end up in drawdown, and just keep buying the high of the market. I thought I was super unlucky, but fast forward to today, I have a 75% win rate on my breakout trades that I take on a day-to-day basis live on my YouTube stream with a 2-year record of these trades. And today I want to focus on exactly how I take breakout trades and how have I built this accuracy in breakout trades. And we're going to dive all into that, and I'm going to describe my full strategy of how I execute breakout trades in the market and also show some live examples so you can see it happen in action. So if that sounds interesting, definitely stick around to the end of the video. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy. That being said, let's get straight into it. All right, guys, so I pulled up to the charts here. The first thing I want to explain is what is the difference between a breakout and just like a continuation trade. So there are two different things that you need to understand, and then I'm going to dive into basically my strategy to execute, followed by a setup as well. So some sort of continuation, let's say price is being continue up, we pull back, we create a range, and then we continue here. People might think this is a breakout, and although it is a breakout of its own range, it's not considered one of these full continuation breakout. This is just literally a pullback. We have a range, we're closing above the range, and we can trade towards the upside. Although a valid setup, it's not a classic breakout. When we refer to breakouts, we refer to when price is, most likely in a trending move, meaning that price is moving with the trend, creates some sort of consolidation and breaks out and continues. What happens is a lot of people get that, and then it continues down and then goes, and then they try buy on the pullback, and you think to yourself, damn, why did I get a fake out here? And there's multiple reasons which we're going to discuss how to breakouts actually work. So for me, breakouts in a trending market, in a market that's moving in a certain direction, either a bullish market or bearish market, very high accuracy rate, above 75% most likely. Probably if you run it over multiple trades, it will jump between 75 to 80% win rate, and I'm going to explain exactly why and how I do that. So first thing is to understand what do we need for a breakout. So breakout, we need candle closures are number one. Very important to have an actual candle close when you're taking a breakout, and that candle close needs to happen on a 15-minute time frame minimum. So what I want to explain is the first step before we get into that is you need to know where you're breaking out into. And this is going to involve a markup, and you need to start your markup from the daily. Now, this is something I do all the time. I have so many videos on markups, but it is a very important part. This is a repeated topic for people who watch my channel often, but that's the good thing. My strategy involves the same things. It has consistency. So if your strategy is not even consistent every day for a new setup, you're doing a new thing, how are you going to be consistent in your trading? So start daily time frame, mark your resistances. If you don't know how to do this, I'll link a video up that tells you how to mark support and resistance. At the end of this video, there'll be a link to my full course as well, which is free on YouTube. You can watch that as well to get more in depth. It's a skill you'll have to practice, but the reason we need to mark this is to know where can we break out into. We can't buy a breakout into resistance, right? This is not possible. We can't buy a breakout into resistance. That's where you lose, because if you're buying at resistance, you lose. So you just mark the most recent. I like to label. We're going to go through this pretty fast. So you just most recent support and resistance. What is a resistance? When price closes bullish and creates bearish, that's a resistance. This is not a resistance because price hasn't closed. Understand that. The next one is actually higher here, right? That's our next resistance. If we're looking at supports, our next support is going to be down here. This is going to be our four. Technically here, so we can put it here because that's more accurate. So we're doing daily 4 hour. Now we go to 1 hour. 1 hour is the same, so we don't need to change anything. 30-minute is the same. You can see here it's the same support. We keep it. Last time frame is 15, the same. Okay, so now we know where we can break out into, but in this current scenario at price, there's actually no breakout setup because we're moving down. So this is not in a breakout scenario, whereas here it was in a breakout scenario, because this type of trade here, this is a breakout into our new range, because we know our next resistance is going to be here on a 4 hour. Okay, so this would be a better example of a breakout trade, and this is actually considered a good breakout setup. Why? Because we have a key fundamentals part of the breakout. But before I actually explain how to enter on the breakouts, there's one key part that most people will miss, which is something called bias. To get a successful breakout trade, you need to be following the market trend and momentum. It's super easy to see. You just need your eyes, check on the 15-minute time frame if the market has been going up. Okay, 4 hour, if the 4 hour has been going up, it will help, but I'm going to give you a hack now that will allow you to dictate the higher time frames. But make sure the 15-minute has been going up. If the 15 minutes been looking like this, a breakout trade is probably not going to work because it's just ranging. 15 minutes been looking like this, breakout trade is not going to work. It's not going to be a good idea. 15-minute looks like this, yeah, breakout trade probably going to work. If you're looking for sells and 15-minute looks like this, you have a high chance to work. And you can just see them work, right? There's pure continuation, pure continuation. And that's the time you want to be active in these. And this is recent. I'm actually showing you this from today. So you can see how many options there are when price breaks up. And this is actually from this morning. So the key factor we need is also something called bias. So you need the previous daily candle to close bullish for buys and the previous 4-hour candle before you take your trade, because these trades are only going to be, I'm going to repeat this twice, are only going to be taken during a session, either London session or NY, around the opens, okay? So for NY, around New York Open or NYSE Open, use an online calculator, not calculator, but to see what time that is for you. And for London, it's going to be just before London Open is fine for these. So you need, let's repeat, previous daily candle closing bullish, previous 4-hour candle closing bullish. If both of them are closing in the same direction, close, not open, then you can look for the breakout in that direction, right? So buys. If they both close bearish, you're looking for sells, breakout setups, and that's how it works. So what do we need for a breakout setup? This is the few things we need. So sometimes breakouts are into all-time highs, like this might be a new all-time high on price. So you don't have anything to the left. But what you need is you need this to be clean. Remember in the beginning when we did the analysis and we made sure that there's no resistances? If there's a resistance here, you can't take a breakout because you're buying into a resistance. You're buying into a roof here. You're buying into a wall. It's not going to work, or you're selling into a floor. You want to sell and buy in areas that are clean. And how they look is they're usually levels that have had clean candles cross through them. So if we scroll here to the left, these are all clean level candles, right? You want clean candles. See these clean candles? This is a beautiful example here. These clean candles here is where you want to be buying in. And let's say for sells, I mean, this is another nice buying zone. For sells, you want obviously clean candles towards the upside so that in the future when you take this sell, hello, breakout trade right here, it looks good, right? So this is an example of a breakout trade. That's that candle closed below, clean candles, boom, continuation down. So you're taking the breakout of the range. So let's get into the juicy stuff of how to actually enter into a breakout, and then we see an example. So we know that we need to have the two candles closing in the same direction. Then we need to have a range formed. So what I need by range is I need 2 tests of the resistance to be a successful breakout trade. So I need there for price to form a resistance, as we can see it did here, and I need 2 tests, 1, 2. You see how the price rejected twice? Once it rejected twice, that is going to create enough of a resistance to break out of. Now, a lot of people are going to go on lower time frames and get caught out in these wicks, but you're not. You're going to stick to a 15-minute time frame, and all you're going to wait for once you have all of that confirmation, meaning you have clean area to the left, you have your bias, right? Remember previous daily, previous 4-hour. You just need a 15-minute candle close above the zone, and that's your entry technique. You go normally break of high. That would be better to go break of high. And you put stop loss below the lows. So you put stop loss below the lows like this. This trade here I'm just using for an example. It's not a trade that I took. And then you target the next level here, whatever it is. That would be your TP, right? Your TP would be the next level. In this case, you want to try target a minimum to 1-to-1. If there's a level before your 1-to-1, you could always move break even at that level and try allow volume to give you a 1-to-1. In this case, it would have done it pretty easily, right? So 1-to-1 for me is minimum, and don't expect, don't be greedy on a breakout trade. You are buying the highs of the day or you're selling the lows potentially. So you want to not be greedy and accept a 1-to-1. Whatever volume that the market used to close above probably will give you that in equal, and that's where another thing people go wrong with is they try to push to 1-to-3, 1-to-4. It's not the idea of a breakout trade. You're getting a very efficient move very fast, so you need to be efficient with taking your profits as well. So to recap, we need this type of range to form. Now, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share in the description of this video, there's a link to my WAP. That is a free PDF that has this set up there, so you guys can use that while you're basically learning, right? You can print that out. There's a few other setups there that are linked to my other videos. I use this PDF, but go in the description and get access to this PDF. I'm going to show it to you now. This is how the PDF looks like, and this is the one we're looking for, right? 2 tests. Remember what the rule is. We want to test it twice, once second time, close above on 15, and entry you want to be break of high. Must follow trend, must trade during times of volume, works in all time frames, best is 15, 30 and 1 hour, right? Continuation trade. So this is the important thing. It's all there for you. Little reminder that is there. There's also a free risk management course there as well. Those are all free. Just on my WOP. You can have that if that you find that useful. So I want to go into more of a real life example as I feel that is going to be more useful, and explain that real life example. So I'm going to take one from one I took live on stream. I stream Monday to Friday on YouTube London session. Show up if you're available. And we're going to have a look at this one. This one was done on the 16th of this month. This is the trade. This was it. Breakout. Again, remember, retested twice. 1, 2, then closed above. I put stop loss below the candle. Entry break of the high. Look for TP. Now we're going to go review this trade. So this is how the trade started. I simply waited for a candle to close above that range. That was my entry where the blue line is. And once it flipped and tapped that zone, this is where I got triggered. As you can see, it pushed pretty nicely to begin with. So it pushed very, very smooth to begin with. As you can see, literally full straight into profit. And then I just held it. Now my target here could have been this 23.85.9, which was my next resistance. We had clean candles here to the left. We've been trending. You can see how we've been trending. Maybe I show. Yeah, there you go. Check this out, right? Clear to see that we've been moving up 2 tests. It's been, you know, a bullish market here. Since this push here happened during the session. So since this push happened during the session, I actually wanted not to be greedy. So I just targeted a 1-to-1 because that's what I'm happy to take. So if you can see here, price came back a little here, making bottom wicks. Now, this is reality that when you sit in a trade, you have to trust it and just wait for it to do its thing. But it was pretty stress-free. Price literally stayed in profit for the whole trade here. And that's the beauty of a breakout trade. You're catching a breakout. You're breaking out of the range. And you can see that work live and see that in front of you play out, which is very useful. And that's all the rules we just discussed. So it's actually very, very simple. And the complex thing will be trying to keep it simple, right? So this is something we do. If you're, you know, interested in trying it out, let me know. And we'll see how it goes for you. As you can see, it naturally made it towards TP. And boom, smash TP. And that was it. So very, very clean trade there. And that's how my breakout trades work, right? So this is something that we practice a lot now. Breakout trades only work in breakout scenarios. There are, of course, other setups that you can use, continuation setups. On US 30, a nice example I would like to show before ending the video is this is a breakout trade, but I actually, and this, if you look at the time this happened, it's like 21. That's 11 o'clock. That's not really a session. So that was your breakout trade. Beautiful breakout trade. You have space to the 15, clean candles to the 15, and then continuation. But I actually took a trade here yesterday on the 5-minute, right? And I took this with the guys in the exclusive group when we trade live on New York on Wednesdays. We have New York session and London session. And I took a sell here to get towards the lows, and that's like 60 points. Stop loss was about 30, so it was a great little trade. But that's not a breakout trade, right? That's a continuation trade following trend. So there's different ways to enter, because if I wasn't able to take that, then you wouldn't be able to take anything, because it just ended up ranging for the rest of the session until moving extremely late. So there's other setups, you know, and if you're interested in that, I've been getting questions about how to join the exclusive group to be part and get access to all of my content and all of the extra setups and all of that. It is on waitlist. So all you have to do is write only one sentence, guys. That's it. It's not that you have to wait for the waitlist to open. No, you actually apply and you write one sentence of why you want to join. Although we're very, very cheap, I do like to keep quality standards very, very high in there. And in order to do so, I just like people to write one sentence of why they want to join. And that kind of filters out people who are maybe there for the wrong reasons, not looking to trade with us and grow as a trader yourself. So that's all cleared up. Hopefully this video has helped. I enjoyed explaining it to you. Let me know in the comments if you found it clear. And with that being said, take care, trade sharp, and hopefully catch you guys very, very soon. Peace.